Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are back. We are back. He was gone, but now he's back. Welcome back to the Stigma Ends here. We're finally back after a bit of time off. Welcome to the show. As you know, I'm Mike. I am one of the hosts, and I'm also the founder and owner of Recovery Army Outreach nonprofit based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
What's going on? I am Travis, CEO, founder, owner of Time for Recovery, and a freaking Ninja Turtle. And, I'm up here in Maine, and I'm also the better host of the Stigma Ends here. And, we took a little time off, and we're back, and we want to talk about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in our lives.
So, yeah, it's been a while since we've been on. So welcome everybody that's coming in. There's a few people in here now. So let's see. Before we get started, I was a little unprepared, guys, today. It's been a while.
Because we were supposed to start at 7:32, and Mike decides to be a diva and jump on at 7:34.
Yeah, so in case you were wondering, so the original, I said, how about we go on at 8 o'clock? We'll start at 8. So how about more like 7-ish? I said 7:30 should work. I got a Zoom call to do at 6:30. And then he says 7:32. All right, we'll do it. 7:32. Wondering if anyone was going to ask a single question, why 7:32? Which I don't think has any. It's not
no, it's just Mike tries to tell me to be here at 7:30, and I'm just not going to do it. My job is to make Mike's life to deal with me a living hell. You succeed. You're doing well. In case you guys don't know, and the first time you're tuning in or anything, like the comment, look at these noodles. But seriously, in case it's our first time in or something, Travis is not the easiest person to tie down to a day and time. In case you didn't know, when he's here, he shows up. That's what we do. We get up, dress up, and shop. It feels really good to be back. I just got to say that to start with for sure, 100%. So we got a few things that we want to touch on, a few things cover. Talk about. We're welcome to comments too. Any questions, anything you guys want to throw in the chat, please feel free to add it. We'll answer anything. Literally, we did a whole show evolved around that, trying to get someone not to answer a question, but they were all answered, as strange as they were. With that being said, there's an event this Saturday. Travis and I are going to be at this Saturday in Connecticut. I have Jen with me as well, and my stepson Anthony. And we'll check in, let you guys know where we've been in case you haven't seen. So, Travis, we can start with you, man. If you just want to give everybody an update of what's going on in your life today, what's happening and what that looks like. Yeah, so once I got back from Indiana, I had some family things that were going on with the family, the kids, the wife, and everyone. And I just. The thing about like recovery being, I even hate this term, content creator or a public figure or any of this, is sometimes we can forget about the balance that we need to maintain in our life. And, I'm not just accountable for, I'm not accountable for anybody except my own actions. And I needed to figure out like how I could be a better person for the people around me. And I took a little bit of time off after Indiana to kind of figure some things out. And then after that, like it literally, my brother ended up by falling off a 3.5-story roof. And, he landed on the sidewalk. He broke over 50 bones. Yeah, Mike, you saw. I sent you pictures of literally his rib cage on the operating table, wide open.
And I was just say I was not prepared for that. Like when I see a text come through from Travis, I have no idea what to expect, honestly, but was not expecting that. Wow, this is wow, man.
And he broke over 50 bones. They had to open him up. They had to plate his ribs. He broke his spine from T1 to L1. He punctured his lung. He ruptured his spleen. And dude, when he hit the sidewalk, he literally looked at his friends, was like, "Give me a cigarette." But then the ambulance comes, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they like slaps a cigarette. He's literally been basically in a bed for over 40-something days. If he gets out of the bed, he has to wear a back brace. And, so I've been trying to do
the brother, so Jared is 10 years younger than me. So as I was going through all these life changes growing up and stuff, like he was so younger than me, and like he didn't participate in the lifestyle I was living with, and what I was doing. So at least what I can do now is be present and be able to help him. So I've been going to see him where he's trying to rehab. I'll go help him with his laundry. I'll bring him food. I'll give him words of encouragement, and just to talk about like what my disease caused on my family and Jared directly was when he was in the hospital. After he was in a coma for a couple of days, and he came to, he was in so much pain. I mean, they had him on ketamine, they had him on Dilaudid, they had him on all this stuff. And one day, he literally reached down and grabbed his IV and he yanked it out and said, "I don't want no drugs." Dude, he still has the stent or whatever they put in it. He said he's saving it for a trophy. But he said, "I do not want no painkillers." And I asked him why, and he was like, "Because I saw what it did to you." So we don't always know like what our actions and what we're doing with our lives is affecting other people. But so here's my younger brother, Jared, falls 3.5 stories, hits a friggin' sidewalk, needs friggin' painkillers, needs some type of friggin' pain management, and he's like, no, not a chance, because he saw
Right.
the path that it took me. And, so I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be accountable. I can be there for him. I can show up for him. I can bring him food. I can walk him to the bathroom. I can sit there with him and just be with my brother. And that's one of the biggest blessings of my recovery is because when we're in active addiction, the craziest thing about active addiction is how much time we waste and how much time we waste chasing either money or drugs. And when you don't have that obligation of either trying to find money to get high or getting high, then now I need to try to find more money. So I have this time and I can be there for them and help my mom out. My mom's constantly up there and trying to help him, so I can give her a night off and go up there. In his room, I don't know if I sent you a picture. So in his room, we have a whiteboard, and it says, my mom wrote Nurse Travis, and then drew a stick figure with boobs and beard. So I showed up and wrote housekeeping. When you're in a hospital, it says RN nurse, this nurse. So I made one for my mother that said housekeeping. And, so I can be there for that. But yeah, this weekend, Saturday, we're going down to Meriden, Connecticut. Casey Makes Music. They have an overdose awareness event going on. Casey Makes Music, Kalichi, Joe Nestor, B Rain, Rem One. All those guys are going to be there. And like we always do, we show up and we support our friends. We support our friends in recovery, in their dreams and their passions. And we show up because that's what we're taught to do. And so that's where I'm at. And you were in the hospital too. So like, what happened with you?
Yeah. Real quick, so I'm seeing comments come through too, and I'm not sure if it's choppy for everybody, if it's on my end or Travis's, as it usually is. But
it's my sound.
Wi-Fi can suck sometimes right now. It is what it is. There's be some upgrades coming soon, so don't worry about that. Hopefully, it's coming in clear enough for you guys to understand what we're saying. But I do want to say what's up to some people that before I get into anything about myself. I just want to shout out everybody that's coming in. Michelle, Brooke, Steve, Jay, what's up, man? How are you? Jen, my better half, Benny.
Adam's in here.
The other Jen as well. Scott, Matt. Let's see who else. Amanda, Tyler, what's up? Seth, Rod, my man Rod. Which definitely want to touch on where I'll be with him in September also.
Run to recovery. Let's go.
Corey, Nikki, what's going on? How are you guys? Thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And welcoming us back. Adam, what's up, man? How are you? Nelly, what's up? How are you? So anyway, real quick, so I'll get back into, and guys, please feel free to shoot some questions, anything in the comments too. We like to keep you guys as engaged as possible, and anything that you might want to talk about as well. So yeah, for me, man, it was, so I spent, I've been out of the hospital over a week. I don't really count days about anything really. But I knew how many days I spent in that hospital again. And the crazy part for me was like another hospital bed, right? Like another hospital bed, like, or another bed that just wasn't mine. Man, because there was so many over the years, just countless numbers of hospital beds and psych unit beds and jails and cots and, you name it, or no bed at all, concrete, the rotted wooden floor of an abandoned house, so I'm grateful that, like, got insurance, got a job, to cover some of these things. And, but yeah, that's what it was, man. It was, I started having some bad pain one day in my stomach. Like, mind you, I had my gallbladder removed, months ago. It was sort of similar. Went to actually left work early. The next day it got worse. And then out of nowhere, I broke out with a rash and hives from head to toe, like completely head to toe. Even my ears, like I felt like I was on fire. My whole body was just itching. And so ended up going to the hospital. Jen is an RN. She's like, yeah, we got to go. So went there. They did some scans. They saw some inflammation in my colon. And initially pretty much diagnosed as ulcerative colitis or possibly Crohn's disease. So they sent me out to Jefferson, downtown in Philly. And from there, they did some more scans.
To check Mike's colon.
He did. Yeah, Travis asked if he could do the procedure because, I had to get a colonoscopy and everything like that. So, and he did offer his services, which I kindly declined for sure. But when I went and got it done, now mind you, I'm down at Jefferson, down in Philly, right? And it was like student day. It was like Jefferson student day. I swear, dude, there was like 6 students coming in and checking into it with all the doctors. So I go into the room, like the OR room where they do it or whatever, and I've never seen so many people, dude. I'm like, this is great. Like, you're about to put a camera in my butt, and there's like 20 people in a room, and but it is what it is. But so it turned out they did the same testing, did that. They did the same tests and scans they did when I initially got there, and I put a video out like right when I first got there, and I literally had hundreds and hundreds of people reach out to me and tell me that I was in their prayers, and the support that was shown was absolutely amazing, man. And that same scan they started with, they did about a week later before I got discharged. It was gone. It was gone. What they originally first saw was actually not even there. They did find some other things like around my esophagus and things like that. So, but treatable, manageable. So definitely not what it was, what they thought it was. So, man, God is good. God is healing for sure, and definitely heard all your prayers and mine as well. So I want to thank you guys so much for all of you that were involved with that and just showing support, man. I really appreciate it. And just to go back real quick on a comment we got from Scott, how do I keep my head so shiny? It's just the light. Mr. Clean, Matt said. So, and Sunshine, I saw that you just posted that you just celebrated some time as well. So congratulations to you. Sunshine, you always are coming in and constantly supporting everything we're doing. So we appreciate that. So Trav, what's on the agenda Saturday, man?
Yeah, so Saturday, I believe it's 3 to 6?
3 to 6 Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be in Meriden, Connecticut, and the guys are going to be doing a concert, for overdose awareness, and it's going to be a blast. We're going to hang out, dude. There's so much fun stuff that we get to do when we go out to these events, and just the traveling alone is amazing.
It is.
So I'm excited. Well, one, I'm excited because I get to see you. And we'll do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up exam on you if needed.
No, we ain't.
It's a struggle, snuggle, dude. Just deal with it.
Yeah, all right, we'll call it that. That's fine.
But I did see in the comments a great question. Jen wants to know if you will be doing the dishes after the podcast.
Yeah, I will publicly hold myself accountable and say yes. So feel free to reach out to her and see if I accomplished it. Do I want to do it now? But yes, I will absolutely do it. Yes, babe, I'll do it.
There we go. Oh, look, Mikey Concepts in here. He's someone
Oh,
we'll be
Mikey.
having on the show soon.
Yes, yeah. If you guys don't know Mikey Concepts, Dream Excel Collective, amazing line. Definitely, guys, go check that out. Personal friend of both of ours. I spent some time with him. Also, we both did in Indiana at Recover Out Loud 2021. He was out there representing his brand, and man, he's a force too, dude. He really is. He's a force. And definitely also, like I said, his line's incredible, man. We got a chance to spend some time in Chicago together as well. And so make sure you guys go check him out also. And thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate you.
Oh, hey, Mike, I quit smoking butts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Travis is smoke-free as I sit here and spent a week in the hospital. I did vape in the hospital. Sorry. I had my own room. Oh, well, it is what it is. But I didn't smoke, and I really didn't need a cigarette like that whole time. But also come home, Jen smokes too. It's easy to fall back into it, and I did, but I cut down. A lot. I'm down about half of what I was smoking anyway. But I can't get away from that coffee and cigarette in the morning, man. It's hard to do. But I know you, on the other hand, why don't you share your experience right now, where you're at, dude? I thought you'd be a little more agitated, to be honest with you. So I'm glad you're not.
So, the funny thing about it is most people don't even know that I smoked, because even sitting on a podcast, I don't smoke in my home. I normally don't even smoke when I'm home. It was just like you, it was that coffee, it's being in the work truck, it's all this stuff. But yeah, I literally, I was like, I got just feeling out of breath, not feeling in shape. And I was like, you know what, enough is enough. And Soberflex actually did it. And he was like, and he quit. And then I just kept, like, I was stressful and just coming up with excuses. And so one day I went to the doctor, my doctor, and I was like, dude, like, I need help. So he prescribed me these patches. And I used them for, I don't know, maybe 7-10 days or something like that. And then I was using these lozenges here. So I haven't used the patch in, I believe, over a week. These lozenges, what I did is I emptied half of them out and I switched them with Tic Tacs. Okay? Just to try to get myself, it's that mental. I mean, like, we know it just even with addiction, it's that mental. And so I've been smoke free. And what's funny is, like, I'm going on, I think, 6 days now of every day I go run a mile. And or 2. I'm like up to 2 miles now. Like, my first mile, dude, was like 12 minutes. Like, and it was just brutal. But I pushed through it. The next day, I think I was down to 10 minutes. The next day, I was down to like 9 something, and like now I'm already back under 8 minutes, dude. At my best, like back in I'm not the guy who peaked in high school, but like I ran track in middle school, and I had a 5:30 mile. Like, I ran like the wind, the freaking wind. And but yeah, so I'm running again, and like, I don't know, I feel good, and it's something I'm definitely proud of.
Yeah, no, you should be, man. And speaking of running, to piggyback off of that, so September, also in a couple of weeks, you guys know Rod, who's in here now, Rod Baker. I hope you're still in here, man. Who some of you may know as Run for My Life. That's what he does, man. He runs, and he is also has Crohn's disease as well. So I was speaking to him about that when that was my possibility too, in the hospital and stuff. And so that's what he does, man. He runs, and when I talk about running, like, I'm talking about long periods of time, long extended lengths. So on September 11th through the 12th, he's doing an awareness run. It's Awareness Run 21. He did it last year also. He's doing it again this year in Dodge City, Kansas. And myself and Jen will be out there also supporting him. And he's doing a 24-hour marathon. So the goal is 104 miles. 104 miles nonstop, dude. Nonstop movement for 24 hours, which is insane. Some David Goggins stuff right there, man. And it really is, man. And so we'll be out there. that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday, I think. We might be going in Thursday. I forget. I got to check the flight itinerary. But Friday is going to be incredible, too, because it's really a full day of just spreading hope, man. We're going to be, Rod and I are both going to be speaking at the treatment center out there. We have all morning with them from 9 to 11:30. Then we're going to go to his high school that he graduated from and speak to the high school. Then after the high school, probably grab some dinner. And then that night, there's also an NA meeting. It's going to be a 2-hour type speaker jam with both Rod and myself speaking to an NA home group out there. I did make a post about it. If you guys want to come out, if you're nearby, if you're local, if you want to fly out, do some meet and greet, you're more than welcome to do that. There's a hotel right there by the event. But yeah, it's gonna be incredible, man. And I keep telling Rod, I'm gonna be riding through at and the good part about it is too, it's in like a 2-mile route that he's doing. So he's gonna be continuously running through. So everybody's gonna be able to kind of like fellowship together as he does it, cheer him on every time he passes and stuff like that. Because we're gonna have like a Winnebago type RV set up there also with the Suicide Coalition that works down there. So it's going to be Recovery Army Outreach and the Suicide Coalition also, because that week is actually Suicide Awareness Week also. So kind of two of them bridging the gap for awareness there. And it's going to be a great time, man. It's going to be awesome. I know it's a big deal down there in Dodge City. He did last year. It was all over the news, and a lot of people showed tons of support. Rod hit the ground and really hit the pavement and knocking on doors and going to businesses to support and everything like that, and was able to really, raise funds to help with the outreaches and the Suicide Coalition, and even like Little Miss Dodge City herself, in this pageant that she does, chose that to be what she was running for also. And the proceeds she made from her pageant went to the cause as well, which is really cool because I believe her father, I think, was unfortunately a victim of an overdose as well. So it hit home to her. So it's amazing. It's like a 14-year-old girl. It's amazing, man. It was cool. It was definitely heartfelt, and I'm looking forward to meeting her as well, man, and just going out and spreading some hope, man. So that'll be September 11th through 12th. So if you guys are around Dodge City or around the Kansas area, reach out to me, and I can give you some details where to come in.
Hey Rod, put in the comments like what is your motivation behind this? Like what is your motivation? What is your drive, and what's the reason why you're doing this run? I would love to know that answer.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Let's see if we get a comment. I'm trying to catch up with these comments, guys. Please forgive me.
Well, someone asked what was worse, the camera in the butt or the wax?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it is static. Well, it's static probably on my end.
Christy, he's got poor production.
The wax was worse for sure. I was asleep for the other one, which concerns me also because you really don't know what's happening. I had 20 people in a room.
Dude, Mike called me right after the procedure and was like, dude, I do not know what happened. All I remember was falling asleep, smelling lavender candles, and hearing Barry Manilow.
And what did you ask the doctor, Trev?
Huh? I said I'm allergic to latex.
And then what else? Where do you put what? Or he asked you about your pain?
Yeah. No, dude, Just I was like, all right, where do you want me to put my pants? And the doctor was like, right next to mine.
Yeah. So Mikey said also, make sure you go subscribe to Travis's OnlyFans also.
Please.
Yeah.
Struggling artists out here.
I did hear though they also just went through the legal proceedings or whatever to actually make things, what they listen. I don't know. I'm not involved with that, but if you are, whatever. Travis is, so yeah. Methods about the dishes will need proof. I will. I'll send proof.
So Rod answered. He said, "My free therapy. September is recovery month. Something I wanted to do myself with nobody knowing. Just felt led to raise awareness, and then it blew up all over." And that's how it happens. We're like, Rod, kudos to you, man. It's people like you who really do change the stigma, who help end the stigma. So seriously, man, much respect.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, Domino's Pizza.
Huh?
Yeah.
You said all for
20. I do.
What's that?
I'm actually on a live podcast right now. I do.
Very, very, very fucking professional, Trav.
Hold on. My assistant's yelling at me. What's that, Mike?
Nothing. Go ahead. Take the call, Trav. Yeah, Jen said a flight 6:30 on the 9th. So we're flying out to Kansas 6:30 a.m. from Philly.
Yeah, no, I definitely did.
On the 9th.
All right. Sorry about that. That was my handler.
You're not sorry.
No.
Mark is shot at 21 months tomorrow. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic.
Yes. No slips, no dips, no weekend trips. Let's go.
Yeah. I just got called in to evaluate 3 new clients coming into treatment, so I get to spend my 21 months working on a treatment pool in 14-hour shifts. Amen, man. Mark, well done, man.
That's what we call grinding in the trenches, my friend. Congratulations. Amen, dude. We need the world needs more people like you. Dude, another thing, Climb for Recovery. So because of COVID, an actual and we've talked about this. There's an actually detox center here in Portland, Maine, which is Maine's largest city. That got closed down like when COVID happened, and which is horrible to think because like there's just not enough detoxes. And one of my favorite places to ever speak is to those people that are literally sitting in the chair, sweating, shaking, diarrhea, feel like shit, and they're just like, because I remember being there, and they reached out to Climb for Recovery and they asked us to go in on a commitment, not any type of recovery program, but for us to go in there and speak to the clients like 2 or 3 times a month, dude. And I was just like, yeah, absolutely, because I remember being that guy,
sure.
and I remember like, so the thing about going to detox is when you actually go to detox, especially if you went willingly, like you just want help. So right then and there, like something you say, something you do, a mannerism, a phrase, anything could ignite that candle or plant that seed in someone that they say, you know what, if that 2-time felon, gorgeous looking motherfucker can get clean, so
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, Mark, yeah, dude, you keep using it. I love when people use Climb for Recovery, but it's number 4. But I'll take it.
Yeah, that's the best places to speak, man. I 100% agree. Hospitals and institutions, man, is the best commitments to get. Absolutely love it. And even like statistically wise, like if you look at statistics, like people that are involved in fellowship, stuff like that hold H&I commitments are more likely to stay clean and sober longer, believe it or not. It is statistically shown. But yeah, I love the same, man. Day one coming in broken. Because I think all of us that are in recovery in here can certainly identify with that one day, in that first day, to get us where we're at today. And a lot of times that's what it is too. It's like it could be an outside H&I speaker that comes in that gives that extra motivation and just that extra, they can relate on a different level than what they're hearing in groups and therapy and stuff like that, and just it really just gives them a more sense of a drive and willingness to push them through. I've heard it countless of times, which was like people's turning point in treatment. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad treatment centers allow things like that to even happen.
I remember being in the youth center, okay, as a young lad, being in the youth center and then sending in speakers or just these people. And I remember just looking at them going, I do not relate to this person, like at all. And then I would watch them leave the facility and jump in their Volvo or their Mercedes Benz. And it's like, no, we are not the same, bro. Like, I just, like I grew up on food stamps. I grew up friggin' on my own. I grew up on state cheese, state peanut butter. I was not going to sit there and listen to somebody who I couldn't relate to. But I also remember being in prison and these guys coming in and they're like, yo, you think you've done time? I've done 15 years. So you think that like you can't ever get yourself out of the hole? I own a house. I own a business. I have a wife. I have a family. I have a car. I pay my bills. I'm accountable. Like those are the dudes that I could sit there and be like, yeah, man. Like that's when I actually could say in my head, I want what you have.
Right.
And the reason why I want what you have, because I have what you had. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I have what you had, and like I hate when people like recently I seen on TikTok a bunch of people be like, dude, I can't even get a job because I'm a convicted felon, and I'm gonna say bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't be confined by boxes. So. One of the things my sponsor, the one who passed away, he told me, he said, listen, dude, you haven't been to prison in over 10 years, okay? So on that application, when they ask you, are you a convicted felon? Right, willing to talk about in person, okay?
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. Because when a business is going through applications, as soon as they see that yes checked on that question, you were going to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, most of the time, for sure.
So if you write willing to go to person, well, you know what? If I'm doing the right thing and I'm taking the right steps and I can show that I put so much of this behind me, if you get myself in front of a person, I don't care if it's a CEO, I don't care if it's a fucking military general, I'll sell myself because I know my worth. And I know what I'm capable of. And I know, especially felons, especially drug addicts who are truly trying to do the right thing, they will outwork half the workforce.
It's true.
Because the entire time they do not believe that they belong there. So I always wrote willing to work in person. Willing to talk about in person. And I went to my interview, and again, dude, I have a great job. I have a freaking 2019 truck. Every 2 years they replace my truck. I get 7 weeks of vacation a year. I have amazing freaking health insurance. Like I don't struggle to figure out when my next meal is going to be. I don't struggle about if I'm going to be able to pay the cable, the lights. Like I'm comfortable. I don't need to be rich. I just need to be comfortable. Mikkel, you've met Mikkel. Mikkel has had all kinds of surgery because of her cleft palate, and she had a cleft palate, her teeth, her mouth is too closed, all her teeth is, crouching. And I'm able as a father to do something like that my single mother never was able to do, was like, hey, listen, I don't care what it costs, kiddo. We'll fix it. Mm-hmm. You will have a beautiful smile, and I will go to any lengths to make sure we fix it. And I have that responsibility, and I'm able to do it. Yeah, Mikkel's everybody's favorite girl.
She is fantastic, dude. She is amazing, dude.
Honestly,
definitely yours. I'll say that without a doubt.
If I made her account public, that kid would probably have way more followers than me.
I would. I think I would probably agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People would unfollow me. Dude, so the risky business, the risky business video I made tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna do it, man. Last minute,
dude, she texted me and said, "Stay out of my." I'm not even joking. She said, "Stay out of my room and don't touch my stuff," because it was her wand. it was her wand that I used, and she was like, "Stay out of my room and don't touch my stuff," dude. And she's in Florida right now, and I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" Let me see if I can find it. Look, I'm not even joking. All right, Mikkel. Look. It says she sent it to me. Oh, she sent it to me, and then it says, "Stay out of my stuff." She sent me that video, and then I said, I go. It was just your wand, Mikkel. And then I wrote, "I miss you, Moochie." And she wrote, I do too, but stay out of my stuff.
She is funny, man. She is funny, dude.
Yeah.
And last time when we were at Recover Out Loud 2021, man, dude, she got on stage. There it is. There. She got on stage, dude, and killed it, dude, and stole the show. It was hysterical, man.
Yeah, that was fun, dude. That the sad thing about that event was like if that show was 2 days later, there would have been no social distancing, there would have been no mask, anything like that. But I'm definitely lucky to say, both my daughters, Braylee and Mikkel, have both. Braylee's performed on stage with B-Rain and them guys twice, and Mikkel, she was able to do it. And here's another thing about B-Rain. He would probably definitely get mad, and I'm only saying it because I know he's not here. So when I came home from Indiana and I was going through like some tough personal shit, so I wrote B and I was like, hey, give me a call. And he was like, yo, what's going on? And I told him what was going on in my personal life, and he goes, do you have a bed? And I wrote back, huh? And then the next text message he sent me was a plane ticket from Baltimore to Portland, Maine. Okay? Yep. And he said, pick me up at 11 at the airport. And I was like, bro, you don't have to come up here. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, and I don't know if people in the comments know who B-Rain is. This dude's opened up for Macklemore. Okay?
Yeah.
He's been on worldwide tours. He's traveled the country. He makes amazing music. And he says, do you have a bed? Pick me up at 11. And I try to convince him. I'm like, he was actually at his daughter's softball game. Okay. Her all-star softball game. And he walked up to his daughter, Abby, and was like, hey, Abby, Travis needs me. And I know Abby. And he was like, yo, Travis is going through some stuff. And he needs me. And Abby looked right at him and goes, go, Dad. And he flew up here. I picked him up at the airport. And this is where like the social media aspect is like, I didn't post anything about that.
Right.
Because for numerous reasons. One, I'm not a clout chaser.
Right. Same. I think everybody knows that about both of us for sure.
Yeah. TikTok, Facebook, any of that stuff. I do this because one, it's just like a phone call with you, Mike, but we get to see some people who are supportive and who I love. In the comments, and they join us. And he showed up, man. He showed up, and he spent the weekend with my kids, and me, while I was going through a tough spot. And he was giving me sound advice, whether it was advice I didn't want to hear, or whether it was advice that it's just caring and true. So, like, dude, I will go to bat for that guy. Well, I mean, list on your hand how many people would fly on a whim's notice to be there for you if you never mind even like ask. I didn't even ask. I was like, he's just amazing.
Yeah, he's an
amazing dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude, man. Super humble dude, man. Always smiling, dude. Like just an all around great dude, man. And I remember when you told me that too, and I was just landing back in Philly too. Right. I remember I was waiting on my Uber at the airport. And you called me and were telling me about that. I was like, damn, man, that's incredible.
Right. Well, and so like when I was going through that, I called you. You knew the stuff that was going on in my life. Yeah. And I mean, think about it. Like he just got back from being on tour.
Right. Literally.
Was home like the first day at his kid's softball game, and then jumps on. He goes, dude, I had a backpack still packed from being on tour. He said, I just grabbed it. And showed up, Do we almost try to get, what's up, B Magic?
Yo, what's up, Brian? What's up, man?
We almost went and got matching tattoos. He was like, yo, let's go hit a tattoo parlor. And I was like, dude,
what were you gonna get? Let me interrupt you. What were you gonna get? What was the thought process there?
So B already went and got it, okay? And it's above his knee, and it says Hakuna Matata.
All right.
I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'll get it. He said, bro, I'd get matching freaking tattoos. And I was just like, but dude, I would, again, dude's amazing. And the thing is like recently he hasn't been making a lot of like music or doing much on the music things, but and I've told you why, because again, like, it's not about Facebook likes, it's not about followers, it's not about that. Like, this dude's in the middle of opening up a treatment facility.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
I
get license, like going through the state, like Maryland, like
he was
really
accredited,
doing his thing.
and he's got a pass, and he just got state accreditation through the state of Maryland to do his to do his, and those are what I call, like I just said, like Rob, these are people in the trenches. No matter how big the war is, if you don't have people in the trenches, okay, these are the people who are trying to fight state laws at the congressional level, at the state houses. Like, the only way this changes is not gonna be based on likes or followers.
Right. None of that's gonna matter.
But the thing about it is people that have it, that use it for a good platform, it does help people. So I'm not saying anything bad against people who have a large following, because if you can literally bring a smile to someone's face for 5 seconds, do they say a craven, can last anywhere from 5 to 45 seconds, sometimes longer. But so if you can take someone out of that mental state and just get them to go, you know what, like, yeah, I'm not going to give up. And whether it's Brian doing a dance, whether it's freaking me being a freaking goofball, or you making bad jokes, like, we all have the ability to make an impact. Yeah, dude, Mikey. Yeah, Brian gives the absolute best.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I left it up there because I wanted you to see it too. Yeah, so hey, Brian McCall, that's his name. He goes by B Rain. But yeah. The longest of hugs.
That's awkward.
It teeters that point of, like,
but when he lets go, you're like, man, I wish he held on.
A little bit. Why don't you bring it back in?
Yeah, but dude, the only way we change things is boots on the ground. Like, again, hey, how's it going, Elizabeth? Like, it's again, like, I'm not someone who makes three videos a day. There's times where I go 4 or 5 days without making video, and then on a Saturday I may put out 3. And it's because I do sponsor other people. I do work a program of recovery in my local community. I'm not a big fan of social media. I actually, there's good in it, but there's also a lot of bad. And I know this because I participated in the bad. You know what I mean? Like, and the last thing I don't ever want to be called a role model, dude. I'm a bozo on the bus. I'm sitting next to every single one of you. Right. I'm not perfect. I'm not a role model. I'm a Leo. I'm outspoken, and I'm a geek. That's it. And I'm okay with that.
I think Elizabeth just said it right there. Walk the walk. Like, that's really what it's about, man. It's and it's the attraction of that, man. Like, yeah, we don't like really promote it. It's just about showing who we really are, who we authentically are, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. And but that's what it's about. Yeah, just going right back to that, like, real quick, like when Rod said, in the trenches, boots on the ground. What you talk about, like, really in the community, like, and I try to talk about it a lot, is like, it starts in your community. Like, that's where you got to start making the changes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to change the world. Like, that'd be fucking awesome. But
how can you change it if you can't change the community?
Right. Where are you going to start, though? So, like, and most people know, like, with Recovery Army, that's what we do. Like, I was on the streets of Kensington for a long time in my life, and that's where we go. Like, I go back, and the most amazing part, honestly, man, like, my history there is not good. Like, just absolute hell on earth, like, putting it lightly, man, truly putting it lightly. And to be able to go back there now, just like how we're talking about, like, H&I commitments, how, like, we can identify with that person and how they felt in that chair. Well, it's the same thing on the street, and they're not even in there yet. Like, they're still active. They're still doing these things. And, like, the way it's set up down there now is just absolutely crazy. It's like the #1 open drug market in the country right now, where literally on the sidewalk, people are hitting each other in the neck. Like, I'm sorry if that triggers people or anything, but like, that's the fact. Like, that's what it is, man. Like, and cops drive by, turn their head and just keep it moving. Like, that's it, man. And it's just a free for all. Like, it's absolutely insane, but I'm able to go there. Right. Like, and that was a way of life for so long, and be able to sit there and I can watch somebody do that. Like, what, like, you know, I'm not going to get into too much graphic detail, but like, everyone knows like the ritual involved and all that stuff. Like, you know, being 2 feet away from and watching this, like, but because I might be talking to someone right here, like, but there's so many people and it's just happening everywhere, especially down there at McPherson Park, which is known as Needle Park. Cause that's what it is, man. And like, these people might be doing this right next to me, and then I'm talking to this guy, because we always reach somebody. That's the best part. And like you said, even to put a smile on someone's face, like, everyone is so, you would go down and think like it's a dangerous thing, this and that. Like, it really isn't like that, man. People are so appreciative of when we come down and just show a piece of humanity and give some things back to them and identify with them, and we get it. Like, you know, last time we went down, we did free haircuts, and we linked up with St. Francis down there, and set up a booth at free haircuts and all that kind of stuff. And then we went down to the park and gave away some things to help some people out there, especially like first aid type stuff. I mean, you literally see people walking around, open wounds everywhere. People literally about to lose limbs, man. Like, it's so bad. You know, I wish I was able to, you know, like literally prescribe antibiotics and stuff on the spot, but we can't do that. But just that glimmer of hope, man. And, you know, this last trip we were actually able to, you know, one guy stopped me, and I spoke with him, who ended up, you know, and I always get my card out and everything, and got a phone call, you know, like next day or 2 days later, and him and his girlfriend were done. They wanted to get off the street. They were stopped with that. They were done with it, man. Just really wanted to surrender. And, you know, we were able to help them out and get them in. Like, each time someone, it's not like we find them, they find us, man. Like, we just go down and show up and do what we can do in hopes that, you know, that might be the end result for somebody. And we've been able to do that every time we went, almost every time. Like, someone has reached out, or we've been able to get someone in a better place and off the streets. Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's nearly impossible to come out of there alive, especially the longer that you stay there. It's just super hard, which is why I'm so grateful to this day, man, for literally everything. Because I just, like, when I think about it so much, and I'm in the process of writing my story and putting a book together, which is going to be done pretty soon. But like, in the process of doing that, I'm like reliving all these things. And I'm just like, damn, like, how the fuck did I get out of that? Like, that prison, man, inside my mind, and like, you know, that way of life and that lifestyle, which was addiction of itself. And this is incredible, man. So when people say people can't change, that's the biggest bullshit I ever heard, man.
You know, one of the things that, like, especially as people in active addiction, like, there's nobody harder on ourselves than ourselves. Like, we call ourselves the worst names. Like, we treat ourselves horrible. And even when we get clean, we still tend to do that. But the thing that I like to remind people is, listen, you're alive, you're in recovery, and you have survived what so many haven't.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, you should be thankful for. Be blessed.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, no matter where your life is, if you are out of that, be thankful. Because just last year alone, there's 93,000 people who would absolutely love to be in your position, even if it's if you're going through a tough spot. If you're still putting down days and staying clean, chasing dreams, even if you're in a tough spot, like, yeah, you're accountable and you're responsible to build your life the way that you want. So if you're not achieving your goals, well, then work harder, you know, because the people who work hard and the people who put the nose and dude, if you do the work, it works out. I have not met a situation in my life where if I truly, like, put in the effort and did the work, that I didn't achieve a goal.
Yeah, same.
May not have been on a timeline that I wanted. I may had to have worked longer than what I thought I would have to, but in the end, you know, I achieved my goal. And the other thing is I always tell people, listen, yeah, we all have trauma. We have trauma from our past. We have trauma from addictions. We have toxic trauma, relationships trauma, and like our bodies build these scars. And I say this all the time, but if you have scars, it's living proof that you are alive, because scars do not form on dead people. A dead person does not, they don't get scars. They're dead.
Yeah, it's over.
You know, right. So, you know, be proud of them. You know, be proud of them.
Exactly, man. Like, scars are just a sign that, you know, you have a past, like you have a history, you know what I mean? But you're still alive at the end of the day. And I think one thing to just be most grateful for, honestly, like we still have problems and everything, but like at the end of the day, dude, if I wake up with a choice today, like that in itself is one of the biggest blessings, man. And like set my intention for the day and not have to worry about, you know, putting something in me or where I'm going to get the next one or anything like that, is a freedom in itself. Like it can be that simple, you know what I mean? And working towards the goals that you want to work towards, like both of us know that we know same thing. Like there's literally anything I could put down on a goal list and I've done it, like with just the willingness and putting the drive behind it and literally just going in on it, and knowing I'll get the outcome, you know, in his timing. Every single one was accomplished, every one. And there's so much more on the horizon. Like I got to constantly add more because I'm hitting levels, like, and then like, and I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm just not going to stop. It's just, I always tell myself, like, this is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, so like, we can achieve this, then this, but then all this time, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Like our story ain't over. It's going to continue. And as long as we have the drive and the willingness, man, and truly pursue it, like truly pursue it.
Yeah,
the only limits we have are the ones we put on ourselves. That's it. It's that self-talk. It's that self-dialogue, man.
Yeah, goals without action is procrastination. I absolutely love that. So, you know, and like how you were talking about Kensington and like how you felt trapped in like just the dirt that you did in this place. You know, I have a city up here that literally my arrest record's like this big. Every cop knows who I am. And over the last few years with Climb for Recovery, dude, to this city alone, donated like I think over like $22,000 to this one program. And what's crazy about it is when I was first starting to get in trouble, there was a police officer. Okay, his name was Sean Lally. Okay, Sean Lally. My first interaction with this guy was I was cutting through these two buildings, and it was a path. It was a known path to anyone who was local from trying to get from one part of the city to the other part of the city. And he like throws on his freaking light. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, walking through the path. And he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you got in your pockets?" And I was like, and I looked right at him. I go, "Are you a rookie?" And he's like, "Yeah, that doesn't matter." And I was like, "Bro, this is a path. Like I'm walking through the path." And he's, you know, he searched me. At that point, I didn't have anything on me, and he lets me go. So then I caused like wreckage. Like I single-handedly think that I have a huge amount to do with the opioid crisis and doing it, because it was the 90s, bro. And I like, they were just prescribing them and like oxycontin. I know. And I was telling everybody, "Hey, well, try this. And like, I can think of maybe 25, 30 people who the first time they did some type of opiate was because I gave it to them, and they're still in active addiction. Yeah, and that breaks my heart. That absolutely breaks my heart. So I've caused so much wreckage in the city. So even when I started Climb for Recovery, like everyone was too busy looking at the old Travis and like looking at my jail record. And then to overcome that by like, okay, watch me go. Like watch what I can do. And be able to donate over $20-something thousand to this one program. And now that rookie police officer is the police chief. And I have a letter on my wall from him commending me and Climb for Recovery for our continuous actions in the community and trying to go above and beyond.
That's awesome.
Other than my Christmas fundraiser, I freaking love that. I love that, dude, because I was fast. Remember what I told you? I was fast. He would try to catch me, bro. He would try to catch me. I'd be running, and I would deliberately slow down and be like, "You ain't catching me. You ain't catching me. And he would just be running, putting all in his might, and I'd turn on the freaking the gun, and I'd just go, dude. But he would always get me. He would always get me there. But there were times like he was driving me to the county jail, and he's like, "Yo, Trav, do you have anything on you?" And I'm like, "Nope." And he's like, "Trav, if you get caught with this shit, once you get to county jail, they're gonna charge you with, you know, traffic and prison contraband." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "All right, yeah, I got, you know, a needle and dope in my shoe." And he would take it, and I would never be charged for it. Mm-hmm. Like, should he have hit me? I mean, technically he could have lost his job, you know, like ideally. But addicts aren't bad people. They're good people who make poor decisions.
Right, exactly.
You know, and he knew me at a time when he was a rookie, when I was just literally just doing the high school thing, smoking weed, you know, going to parties and drinking a little bit of alcohol. Like, no one wakes up and goes, "You know what? Today's a good day to be a heroin addict."
Right. Yeah,
Nobody says that. Like, a lot of us, when we first started using it, it gave us a sense of confidence, right? It gave us a sense to be able to go over and talk to that girl. Gave us the confidence to jump on that dance floor and jiggy with it a little bit, you know? Mm-hmm. It gave us the confidence to stand up for ourselves, you know? And the crazy thing about addiction is, like, by the time, so then we're like, geez, you know, this was fun. Okay, you know, I should probably give it a break. And then you're detoxing. Like, then you get it. Then you know what? It's no longer fun.
Yeah, now quickly.
Okay, now this is a way of life.
Right.
Okay, and now it's going to hurt the ones you love. It's going to take money away from your family. You're going to steal for it. You know, you're going to hold on for as long as you can, and then the freaking wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And then you're doing things you swore you would never do. And the worst part about that, like, I almost made a video called a Timeline of an Addict. And the worst part about that is then we start hearing those voices of saying, like, how horrible we are. Like, the worst part about being an addict is we do have these moments of clarity where we're realizing what we're doing. But we don't want those moments to last, so we go get high again.
Right.
Because because we don't want to feel, and we want to numb, and we want to push all these feelings and these emotions and these traumas, like, bury them. And the only way we know how to bury them and not feel is by getting drunk or getting high, you know. And then it gets to a point where, like, and you know, and this is the point of change, and a lot of people don't reach that point, is where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you know what? I'm actually going to take some accountability, and I'm going to take action, whether it's reaching out to someone you know in recovery, whether it's walking into a meeting by yourself, whether it's making a phone call to a recovery center, whether it's open up to your parents, your friends, your brothers, or that's an action step. Okay, so now you've mentally taken an action step to progress towards your journey of recovery. And that's why it's so important to meet people where they're at. And if someone says, "Hey, I really want to stop, and I need help," that's where that's where you have to meet them. You can't put that on the back burner, because within minutes,
literally change them. Yep. Instantly, you gotta act, man.
I remember waking up and going, "All right, I'm not going to use today. I'm not going to use today. I'm not going to use today." And then 10 minutes, I'm on the phone with the dealer. 15 minutes later, I'm in a Burger King parking lot. 20 minutes later from that, I'm in a Burger King bathroom, friggin' spiking a needle in my eye. And then going, "Well, that escalated quickly." And then, and like having to wash, rinse, and repeat that process. It kills us. Like, we know what we're doing, and we don't want to do it.
Exactly.
And we don't want to feel. So, like, recovery is action, consistent action, especially those first, the first few weeks is huge. Like, break the habit. Go 14 days. Break that habit. And then 30 days goes down, then 60 days goes down, then 90 days go down, and all of a sudden you're going, "Oh my God, I'm doing it." And then at that point, especially like the 90-day mark, you're like, geez, I did it, and then that disease is like pissed because you're no longer getting high. And it's like, you know what, Trav? Maybe if you just did it on Fridays, maybe if you just did it on Sundays after church,
Right.
And if you fall into that, then you're like, because the thing with addiction is there's no reset button. Okay. No. So I have almost 5 years clean. If I pick up tomorrow, I don't go back to the beginning. I pick up where I left off.
Exactly.
And where I left off was an absolute shit show. Like, you want to talk about a dumpster fire? Yeah. This guy. Dumpster fire. You'll see me running. I'll be on NBC running down the freaking Congress Street, riding a unicorn, butt naked, singing freaking "Glory to the King."
I was a dude in Kensington pushing a shopping cart full of scrap metals, like literally pulling manholes off the street and throwing them in there and putting it inside something else because it's illegal, obviously. Putting it in something else, so when I bring it to the yard to get the cart weighed and dump it in their dumpster, they wouldn't see it. Like, dude, I used to go down. Oh my god, man! Just abandoned houses. I'm tearing the whole HVAC stuff down in the basement, bringing that, and on my way there, pushing the shopping cart, I'm stopping and picking up bricks and filling them inside everything just to get more weight.
Dude, here they were filling like heat exchangers and copper pipes, like the camps around the lakes. You can crawl under them, and they're just cutting out all the copper water lines, friggin' stripping the place, and then they fill the copper water lines with concrete for more weight. Like, dude, we're clever. Like, as addicts, we're clever. But the best thing about it is, like, we can be clever in recovery, and we can achieve much greater things. And the other thing, like, so I want to ask you a question, Mike, as we wrap this up. So
yeah.
Everyone always says, "Oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do this. I wish I could help out. I wish." Okay, like, what's your advice?
I think it depends on what what they want to help with. Like, you mean like through in the field, like, or just with addiction and recovery?
Just how can someone help?
Honestly, no matter what it is, whatever you want to get involved with, whatever you want to help with, whatever you want to pursue, it's just like, it starts with that mindset. You know what you want to do. You know you want to do it. But, like, how are you going to implement the action, right? Like, what's it look like to you? So take that. My suggestion would be to take that goal or whatever it is that you want to do, and break it down to, like micro units. Like, okay, this is the ultimate of what it wants to be, but, like, how can I get to that point, each day, each week, whatever that may be, in smaller increments to get there, but identify what it truly is that you want to do, and really specify it as best you can to yourself, so you can really, kind of just implement the plan of what it looks like to get there, and know that you can accomplish it. Like, knowing that you can accomplish it because it's truly what you want to do. If it's led by purpose and passion, you're going to be able to do it, because there's a different sense of drive, a different sense of willingness, that comes involved with that. You know what I mean? As far as, like, being able to achieve it. But that's really what it is to me. Like, there was a ton of things I wanted to do, but, like, so I had to clarify, all right, what is it exactly that I want to do? Like, because it could be so broad, like, okay, I want to help my community. All right, but how? Like, how? In what ways? Like, so figure out, okay, in what ways? Like, specific ways and different types of parts of the community. Like, how do you want to do that? And then, like, okay, so what's the action behind that? How are you going to start doing that? Like, what's the first step to take? And then just literally, like, into micro units, and, like, you'd be shocked if you just spent 10 to 15 minutes on each one each day in micro units, what that next week looks like, or what that next month looks like, what that 60 days looks like, of how much you're actually able to accomplish if you just dedicate that amount of time to it. Like, I'm doing that right now, like with my writing process and stuff like that. Like, I got a solid a majority of a book done, but now I'm on a whole nother drive with it right now. Like, now I'm obsessed with it almost, and, like, so I make sure that, like, I'm putting that time aside, whether I want to or not, to devote to actually doing that and adding, whether it's a paragraph or a page, like whatever it is. Because, you know, like if you did it for a year, or say that was your goal to write a book, if you did 1 page a day for the next year, you have a 365 page novel. Like, that's crazy when you think of it that way. But people project so much into what the ultimate goal and how much work they see initially that's going to take, and it scares them and it backs us off, and we're like, nah, it's too much to handle, man. I can't do that. That's bullshit. Like, that's 100% bullshit. Like, you can truly do anything that you want to do. There's no question about it. I think we're both living proof of it, and there's a lot of people here today that are also living proof of that. Just to get to where we are at now, even like we've beaten the odds. Like you said, over 93,000 Americans died in 2020, man, overdose. Like, and like you always say, the cemetery is full of people who want to get clean tomorrow. Like, it's so fucking true, man. And unfortunately, we lost over 93,000, and that's just from you know, an immediate overdose. That's not counting the people that got sepsis, got you know organ failure, and were put into a, you know, a medically induced coma in a hospital, and then eventually died. That's not attributed. That's not attributed to the overdose. So it's actually higher.
Or car crashes. People not behind the wheel and dying, or people who stop breathing in their sleep from asphyxiation. Like, the numbers are so skewed.
Exactly, man.
You know? But like you said, like you don't set a goal so big that your fear stops you from ever taking the first step.
Micro goals, man.
Right, exactly what you said. So my current sponsor, who's got 30 something years, he always said to me, he was like, dude, like, there's nothing better than, as humans, to actually achieve a goal. Like that reward scepter that we have, that feeling of achieving something, is amazing. So he would say, dude, write down a goal, okay, and 30 days. And I just did a challenge on TikTok. All right, so 30-day challenge goal. Yeah. I'm accountable to you. You're accountable to me. Here, this is my goal. I told you what my goal is, and you know, be accountable to that. And then after 30 days, let's go back and revisit that, and let's be honest about it and see why we didn't do it. And half the time, you're going to see that people, if they're truly honest, it's because they didn't try. Right. You know, because even if you're one of the people who say, I absolutely tried, I did this every day, I did that every day, and it still didn't happen yet.
Right.
Yet.
Keyword. Yeah.
Yet. Because you're still doing it.
Yep.
And you still have the ability to accomplish that. I don't care if it takes 30 days. I don't care if it takes 35 days. Like, you're missing the point of the exercise. A goal is a goal, and if you continue to work for it, doesn't matter how long it takes. You have the ability to make it happen. You know, say less, do more. No one ever. Great quote from, like, the Fearless Motivation is freaking. What was it? The dude made the Edison, right? Mm-hmm. He showed it 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. He only needed one to make one.
Right.
He showed you 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now, but none of that matters. You know, none of that matters because he did it. You know, so you got to put in the action.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it comes down to, man. Follow your heart, man. You know, and what you know, anything when you're truly walking in what your assignment is, and like when you figure that out, like your purpose, and you identify what you truly want to do and what you know is meant for you to do, and you're able to walk in that and achieve it. When we talk about triggering that reward center in our brain, man, there's nothing comparable to beat those goals in that specific.
Then you start making more goals, and then you start grinding harder.
Exactly.
And then your world isn't a box.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it's such an amazing feeling.
So before you're breaking up there. So before we close out, so next week we do have a guest plan on coming on. And it's probably gonna be a different time show, not 7:32 this time.
Probably be 6:34.
6:02, probably 6:03, something like that. Because we're thinking that we're shooting for like a 6 o'clock time. But if you guys have not heard the Real Young Swag, definitely. And Travis has some personal ties with him also. I
was in his music video.
He was actually in one of the videos. But definitely check him out. The Real Young Swag with
I'm a
2
video
G's.
vixen.
And and what I love about the name too is swag actually is an acronym that he uses. A Real Young Swag with 2 G's, saved with all God's grace, or save God's with amazing grace. Save God with all God's grace, I think it is. But man, just a fucking awesome dude. And literally, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, whatever you're listening to, and whatever you use to listen, look up the Real Young Swag and listen to stuff he's been putting out over the past year or two, man. And it is absolutely insane, man. Yeah. And so please check him out. So the goal is we'll have him on next week. And who else we got on the radar, Trav, since we are finally officially back?
So, we have commitments from Kalichi. We have commitments from Joe Nestor. It's just a matter of Mike getting on the ball,
Oh, yeah.
We got a bunch of things coming up. Personally, Plan for Recovery's Christmas fundraiser is coming up. We're going to start kicking off the fundraiser for that. We help out children who's lost their parents to overdoses. Mom died, dad died, grandparents raising kids. In the last 2 years, we've helped almost 100 kids be able to have just a normalcy of Christmas, which every kid deserves. We got some more traveling that we're going to do. Mike's going to continue grinding, doing what he does in the Badlands. Kensington is no joke, man. I've done needle cleanup there. It is no joke.
Yeah.
But we're excited to be back. We're going to be more consistent. And, thank you guys for always showing love and support. And, just if you guys want to see more content, please email Mike at Recovery Army Outreach and tell him to get off his butt, and then send unicorns. He loves unicorns.
Yeah. So and also Andrew Hager also.
Yes.
Andrew Hager should be coming on as well. If you guys don't know him, you got to get
Grieving
to
children.
him. Look him up. We spent time with him, so he'll be on soon. And I think we're gonna be on his live as well coming up soon too, which we're talking about. As we speak. So stay tuned. A lot to come, man. A lot to come, and we'll get a chance to catch up with all the guys too on Saturday in Connecticut. It's a free concert, guys, at Hubbard Park in Connecticut. So if you want to make it out, it's a free show. It's outside. It's at the park, and it's an overdose awareness concert. So
let's go. Come on down.
Yeah, so it is for a benefit. It is for a cause. So make sure, guys, come on down, man. We're gonna be there. More than love to be able to catch up with everybody in fellowship and just have a good time, man. And just continue to spread awareness, man. So we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we will be back next week. Hopefully we'll probably just shoot for next Thursday, but we'll keep you posted through the post. Make sure you guys stay plugged in, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure you just like and follow the Facebook as well. So you can stay tuned with, any upcoming events and stuff like that. And when we'll be back on. So
check out my OnlyFans.
Yeah. And check out Travis's OnlyFans, especially since they lifted the ban. So you'll be able to see much more Trav.
Yeah, and also don't just follow the Stigma Ends Here page. Follow our individual pages.
Yes.
That's where you're going to see more of our what we're doing as far as like individuality, like what we're doing for our communities and stuff like that. Yes, we do share it to the Stigma Ends Here, but yeah, give us a page, man. We're not we just want to reach one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, make sure you check out climbforrecovery.com with the number 4 and recoveryarmyoutreach.com. It's in the link below. You see him, recoverytoware.com, which helps support our nonprofit. And Renee, who just threw that last comment in, is a devoted volunteer of ours, also and part of the team that comes out with us every single month, comes over from Jersey, comes down with us every month with tons of clothes and donations to help out with people. So thank you for coming in, Renee. We love you. Yeah, with that, on that note, guys, have an amazing night. We'll be back next week, and we should be back with the Real Young Swag. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So we'll give you some posts and updates, leading up to that. But like I said, you're not going to want to miss that one, man.
Dude.
You guys, Trav needs a haircut. You got to tighten up for the next show, Trav. You got to sharpen up, man.
I always do.
You should comb over. Do the comb over. Yeah. All right, guys. On that note, we love you. Have a good night and a better tomorrow, man. God bless you all.
All right, peace.